Hello everyone, I'm Mark Tuxford and I want to welcome you all to my new podcast called People Behind Brands, brought to you by Making Websites Better. Throughout the series, I'll be opening up my little black book of contacts where I'll be joined by an inspirational guest from the world of business, getting to the bottom of what made them so successful. In each episode, I'll be touching upon the highs and the lows that every professional has faced along the way. To never miss an episode, subscribe to our exclusive content now and follow us on our social media platforms. People Behind Brands. Life lessons from the world of business. Mixing business with pleasure can often spell a recipe for disaster. But for Megan Jones and Oli Bennett, it's been the founding element behind their nootropic energy drink brand, XITE. From becoming childhood sweethearts to successfully building their brand as innovative business partners, we delve into their lives and find out how their relationship stands the test of time. The duo candidly open up about how they implement a work-life balance, what it's really like to work with your significant other, and their big plans for the future, including Oli's career as an FIA World Rallycross driver. So let's find out if it's a match made in heaven or there's tears before bedtime. Okay, guys, welcome to the show. How are you both doing today?
Yeah, good, thanks. I mean, really happy to have a couple more days sunshine for sure. So kind of just lapping that up a bit, probably head to the park this afternoon.
Excellent. Yes, it's good to have the sun back out again. Obviously, with this as we're recording, it's summer in September, early September. But yeah, it's good to have the British sun out again. So I'm pleased to have Megan and Oli on today's episode. Not only are they business partners fronting their exciting nootropic energy drink brand XITE, but they are also childhood sweethearts and have been together since they met at a school disco. So I think we'll go straight into the questions, guys. So I think my first question has got to be regarding that infamous school disco. So who was making the first moves there, and can you remember how it all came about?
Gosh, I'll let you do
it was a
one.
long time ago now, but yeah, it was one of these typical underage disco nights. You go in, there's a bit of music till 10 p.m. before you're sent home to go to bed. So yeah, I was quite young at the time, and I think just one of those really. I caught eyes on Meg, I guess, at an early age at a dance, and then we just stayed in touch really for a few months after that, and it went from there. So it wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah, like most, meeting at a nightclub's always an interesting way to start.
Yeah, it was like meeting at this disco, not really thinking I'll probably never see them again. Then a Facebook ad, and then it was like, oh, should we meet in the park? Because bearing in mind this was 11 years ago.
Okay, yeah, so quite a while ago. Yeah, there's no sort of time for sort of social media and stuff like that, is it really?
Yeah.
But so you've been together. So you've been together for 11 years, then, have you?
Yeah, 11 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Long time.
But before we go into more about your personal lives and more about you both, tell us more about XITE and the story behind the brand.
Yeah, so I guess XITE Energy is a nootropic energy drink brand. So it was something really that we started 3-4 years ago. I just left university, I think. You were still in university, wasn't you? But predominantly, just came about really from, I guess, a personal side of mine. I was a racing driver, professional athlete, in and around energy drinks for most of my life. But I was sort of that age, I guess, where health and fitness became quite an important thing for people my age. Everyone was starting to go to the gym, starting to take supplements. It was in that sort of area of the growth of fitness, really. So for me, it was a combining of being around energy drinks, but being interested in health and fitness and thinking, why isn't there a healthier, sort of more functional energy drink on the market? And I think probably naively at that time, I said to Meg, I was like, Meg, I'm sure we could do something better here than what people are doing, in our naive sort of young ambition. And it started from there, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually remember the conversation because me and Ol would always go to the gym together. Ollie knew way more than I did about fitness, so we'd always go to the gym. And we'd always drink like pre-workouts and other energy drink brands. And then we were like, oh, they actually make us feel gross. And we were sat in the car coming back from the gym, and it was like, surely there's got to be something better out there than this. Yeah. And then that was it, wasn't it? Then like 6 months of research started, and we were like, should we do it?
Yeah, so it sounds like you put quite a lot of time and effort into XITE, and you've got the company now, which has been going strong for around sort of 5 years now, I'm told. So, where you have explored international markets, and heading into sort of China and the US, talk to us more about the movement and your daily roles within that company.
Yeah, I think it's changing really. I think for me, I guess I'm getting busier as well as a racing driver, so I feel like I'm becoming more and more sort of not face of the brand, but sort of front of brand, really thinking about how the brand grows in these different areas. I'm actually off to the US in 2 weeks' time to start racing out there in a new series out there, which again will be used to promote the brand. So I think that's sort of where I've sort of took more of a role, and then you've gone more into the sort of marketing in logistics, haven't you? So.
Yeah, I think we've had such a great time with the building our brand up until this point. At kind of a good level, and like you say, we've gained opportunities to move forward into America, which fit in really well with your racing, and then that's also another avenue for promotion for our brand too. So that's been really, really good this year. It's actually only recently that we've got in touch with a few big distribution centers in America, which is really exciting. But for me, my main role, I guess, is at the moment, especially more the marketing side. So anything from like social media. Pre-pandemic, I was doing a lot of events and stuff like that. We haven't quite got back to events yet, have we? But I'm sure we will at some point. But yeah, it's been a really good journey so far.
Yeah. So we'll find out more a little bit about your racing and sort of our interests. But with kind of the XITE kind of USP, with so many kind of drink choices out there, with different flavors and benefits, what would you say is XITE's USP?
Got to be nootropics, doesn't it? So yeah, obviously there's loads of other brands out there doing a whole wealth of different things, but for us, we really feel that we've owned that nootropic USP in that space. For those that don't know what nootropics are, they're like amino acids basically that help with mental performance and brain function. So that was something that was really important to us, because when we went to America a couple of years ago, actually, we saw a lot of nootropic brands kind of appearing out there, and we're like, well, there's nothing in the UK, you can't get hold of them other than in kind of pill form. So we wanted something that was like functional, on the go, that kind of thing.
Yeah, excellent. So we know that you have chemistry working as a team, and obviously on the school disco dance floor, but what's it really like working with your partner that you obviously spend a lot of time, personal time with?
Yeah, no, it's tricky, and I think it's definitely not for everyone or every couple, I would say. I think we do quite a good balance of keeping work and outside of work, trying to keep it separate. But of course, it always intertwines, because as we're busy and we're entrepreneurs, we obviously end up talking about work in non-work hours as well. So I think that's the hardest bit, is when do you call it a day on talking about work. Really, it's probably the hardest thing, because you're always together. So I think that's probably the trickiest bit. But I think, it's just having that understanding, really. I think that if we fall out over something in work, then we don't take that back to our personal relationship. I guess that's just work arguments, not others. So that's the way.
I do think that is it's establishing that strong in-work relationship, and just bearing in mind, especially for me, it took time. I'd be like, why are you angry at me? But and then once you get used to it, it is good to have those two separate, very separate.
Yeah, so I mean, you touched upon there the kind of work-life balance. You obviously see a lot of each other. So how do you know when to kind of switch off and from work and enjoy each other's company from on a personal level?
Yeah, well, the main one is we just try and say, like, after a certain time at night, especially having dinner, we're not allowed to talk about work. And then also on our dog walks, we try and like leave our phones behind as well, so that at least we're having a bit of time together outside of everything else, and just trying to get a bit of quality time. Because you can spend a lot of time with someone but not have that quality time.
I completely agree. I think
other bit as well, isn't it, where we've always been sort of doing our own lives as well outside of that, always with friends, and sometimes on the weekends we don't see each other all weekends, we're out with friends and doing different things. So
When Friday comes about, we're like, right, bye.
Yeah. No, I think it is important to have that work-life balance at the end of the day, you know, and especially, you know, in your kind of relationship where it's obviously working, but also in a loving relationship as well. So I think it's massively important to have that. But if you had to have, like, you know, top 3 qualities of each other, you know, either it be personally or from a professional point of view, what would you say is each other's top 3 qualities?
Oh gosh.
I'll let you go first. There's more for me, obviously, so she's
It's funny, actually, one of the qualities that I really admire in Ollie, and I think it's something that has pushed me on, especially in times when, like, the brand, it's been difficult because it's never an easy ride, is it? And there's days when I've been a bit like, oh God, I don't know whether this is right, or you're confused about your decisions, but it's always drive and ambition to just, like, push things forward. And that's something that I just think is so great, and I really admire that about him. Also, he's just funny. He's just like, that's the best thing for me. I think that's why we've lasted so long, is can still, no matter what situation, can still make me laugh and we have a nice time. So
this is relationship advice now. This is dating advice.
Yeah, definitely. What about you then, Ollie? What's your thoughts on Megan?
I think for me, mostly really that I've noticed, especially in business, is just how kind and caring she is with other people. That's the one thing I probably struggle at more in business, especially when we've had a lot of employees and different things. I often find it hard to spend the time with them to sort of nurture them and help them through problems. I'm more like, I can't do it, I'll just do it myself type of attitude. So I think Megan's much better on that side, which again has helped us probably in work as well.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of you know, unwinding and particular kind of hobbies and interests, I know, Ollie, you mentioned about being a FIA World Rallycross driver, and Megan, you're into your kind of fitness and social media and bits and pieces like that. So just talk to us a little bit more about that side of your lives.
No, you go first.
Yeah, well, I guess for me, the racing takes up a lot of my time. I think I'll leave like I said, in 2 weeks, and I won't come back till middle of December then, which again is all racing really in World Rallycross, and also the new series Extreme, which is on the electric side. So I'm busy in that electrification space, but I think it's nice that my brand is also, or XITE is suited to that, I guess, as a promotional platform. So even though I am away racing, I still get the work done as well, I guess, at the same time. I'm quite good at balancing that and still getting emails done and things. So that's sort of predominantly what I spend most of my time doing.
Basically, he doesn't unwind.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Try not to.
Always on the go.
What about you, Megan? What's your kind of passions and interests outside of work?
Yeah, I mean, in comparison, I'm just a very active person. So obviously the gym. I also in the summer, I took up weight surfing, which I really love. I just took up volleyball last weekend, had my first session.
Okay.
And also netball. So I'm just like really anything that's like active out there doing a different experience, I'm like all for it.
Yeah. That just made me think about the other comment I said, that you're great with people, because they're all people sports where I'm sat in a car by myself. So
You've got to obviously a very good sort of standard now. So how's that all sort of come about, and where did it kind of start for you with the driving?
It's quite organic. I started racing when I was really little on motorbikes. Done that up till I was 18, really, at quite a high professional level. And then went to university, so I stopped racing really while I was at university. And just came out of university then really wanting to race again, but didn't really know what in. And I started in sort of a junior series of rally cars, off-road rally, and just done better than I probably should have, really. I think I came 9th in my first rally out of 150 entries. And it just went from there. And then I started in British Rallycross. I think I've got 7 podiums in 9 events, which were my first 7 events. So yeah, I just had a natural talent for it, really. But I think that came back from racing so long as I was younger. And cars are different to bikes, but the basic format and the idea of what you've got to do is very similar. So yeah, it just went from there, really.
But I remember speaking about that ambition I talked about with Ol. I remember when we were younger, I think it was like we were in the car again. We seem to have all of our conversations in the car. But he was like, I really want to be a driver. And I was like, well, okay, good luck type thing. And then next thing you know, he's like, yeah, arranging meetings, speaking to sponsors, really pushing hard. And then within a couple of months, like literally there he was doing his first rally without ever having done anything before. And it was just, that was one of those moments where I was like, okay, cool, fair play. Like you say what you mean and you actually do it, and you work hard to get to where you want to be. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So multiple lockdowns during the pandemic meant that we were forced to live our lives from home with little chance of escape. So how would you say as a couple and business partners that you dealt with those periods?
So during the lockdown, it was actually a great time for us where, because we do have busy lives, Oli is out of the country, well, previously he was sort of 12 times a year. And then I was busy with the business side of things. We never really had that time to just stop and reflect and think about where our brand is and where we wanted to push it to. And so actually a lot of our time was occupied with just taking a step back, looking at where XITE is, looking at where we want it to be. And in that time, we changed our branding a bit too, didn't we? Which was a really positive step forward for us. And it's opened a lot of doors, but it was a lot of like reflection on the business really. And it did keep us occupied. It went quite fast. So
I think it was quite useful, wasn't it? Because it was the first time we took e-commerce seriously, I think, for our business. Of course, everyone was stuck indoors, wasn't they? In the e-commerce direct-to-consumer thing grew massively. So I think it gave us a lot of time to look at that and focus on that. We built a new website and got a new logistics company involved. So that really helped really. And I think that reflection led to a lot of benefits. I think just that slow down in life just gave us a lot more time to think about what are we actually doing, where's the brand going, what do we want to do in our personal lives, which I think why now we actually outsource some of our sales and things like that to agencies, which give us a lot more flexibility in our personal lives. So yeah, just gave a lot of time really to reflect on those things.
And I think like before, you can spend a lot of time being busy, but you can also be a busy fool, whereas like this gave us that time to just really narrow down where we thought we needed to be and what our priorities were. So that was really cool actually.
Family is always a big part of many people's drive to succeed. Would you say that one of the reasons why you're both so driven is because you want to make it, a successful one another? But I mean, talk to us more about some of the relationships you both have with your family and how they have supported you on your individual journeys and where you find yourselves today in business.
Yeah, well, I actually come from a massive family. I've got 5 brothers and a sister.
Okay.
And we all are of different ages, varying from 30 to 15. So we're all over the place in the UK as well. But they've always been my family's always been really supportive. Even when we were going through all of our branding ideas and stuff, I've got a huge Facebook chat with them all in, and I'd be like putting all of the stuff in there, all of our ideas, and they're just so forthcoming and actually really enjoy it. They love being a part of that and helping us kind of push forward. So my family's always been great. We say we're like a family, they're like a boardroom full of people. So really, they're great. Yeah, really, really great.
Yeah, no, and it's similar for me really. My family's a bit smaller than that, but I think most families would be. Yeah, I've just got a sister and obviously father and mum, but yeah, they've been really supportive in anything I've done really, and that's probably where I get that just go for it attitude really. I think whatever I've done for the most part in life, they've said just go for it. Although my mum never really liked the motorbike racing, I think she would rather I didn't do that, but yeah, apart from that, they've been pretty supportive. Yeah.
And also your dad's had quite a few businesses and stuff, so he's been quite a bit of a mentor to us, and really, because he's obviously had those experiences where we've been able to ask direct questions and he's been able to answer them really, really well, and that's been a big help as well, hasn't it?
He's an entrepreneur, I guess you would say. So I think we've used him for a lot of advice in sometimes took his advice. Sometimes we haven't, and then we've regretted it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have those people on your side, really, though, isn't it? And it's you don't always take their advice, but then that's when you kind of realise what they're talking about when you actually don't take their advice, because you sort of wish you had. So yeah, it's good to have those sort of people in your camp, really. But the aim of this podcast is to focus on the more testing times and challenges that we all experience during life itself. So, are there any examples that you can share with our listeners that may have impacted you both or just individually?
yeah, obviously a lot of our time is a couple and all is spent in a business environment, because we work together, and so that's where our longest exposure together has been. But I think a lot of the times we've had those conversations is especially in businesses, sometimes we've had those moments of when you want to give up, and that's when we've had to support each other through it. Sometimes we've egged each other on in those moments and been like, yeah, let's quit, let's just go get a job, and let's run away to some lovely island somewhere, and all the fantasies you get in those moments. And then other times, when one of us is feeling a bit more subdued, then the other one's been, we're going the right way, this is the right thing to do. So I think they've been the most testing moments.
And I think we're lucky to even have that together, and that's something I'm so aware of, especially in like owning a business together. And I know people do have co-founders, but it's being able to have that support and having that person next to you who you can just talk things through with. I think that's something that's really great. But then on the other side of that, because we are in a relationship, the difficulties that come are, it could be 2-3 weeks and we've actually realised we haven't really spoken about anything other than work. And it's a bit, then you start to get a bit testy with each other, can be a bit tense home environment. But obviously you're going to get that. It's just human nature, isn't it? It's not always going to be perfect. But I think, like we said earlier about those boundaries, as long as you really try to implement them and form a bit of a structure, then it's still, you can work around it for sure. But if you don't, then you can get carried away, and then you're like, oh great, haven't got anything else.
I think phones have played a big part in it as well, because I think it's so easy as a couple, but also in business together, it's so easy to be on your phone and the excuse is, oh well, I'm just doing work. We're both in the same job, so you can't really say, well, you're not doing work. So I think there's a lot of that as well. The tension of social media and trying not to stay on your phone too long is everyone struggles with, I guess. So it's having a balance on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's as you said earlier, it's that work-life balance is so key. But in terms of achievements as a business, but also individuals, what would you say is your most what you most proud of, and what would you say are your big plans for the future? I know obviously you've got your race in there, Oli, but personally or professionally, what you sort of kind of proud of?
I think for me, probably personally, was the first time we actually could walk into a city in the UK and see our drink on the shelf.
Yeah,
that was quite a big moment for me. I can remember that day walking into that Holland and Vauxhall and just seeing it there. That was quite a profound moment, because all up until then, it was in gyms and all these individual places we sold to. But just to walk in and see it on the shelf of a big retailer, for me, after all, the year or two of building the brand and having the idea, and it's that acceptance really of someone else also understands this idea and also sees an opportunity for it. That was quite a cool and special moment for me.
Definitely. Well, I'd say off the back of that actually is when we have, when people say, oh, they give the positive feedback of how it tastes, because I spent that was my role in the beginning, was like the MPD and the formulation. So then when we get such positive feedback, like, this is my favorite energy drink, or this is amazing, like, I love this flavor, I'm like, that's so cool, like, I did that. So that's definitely for me, I'm like, oh wow, cool, something like we created but worked hard on, people actually love and use. So and it's like we're actually solving a problem, and it's a problem we had, so that's really cool.
Excellent. So in terms of like sort of plans for the future, then what would you say is your next sort of steps, your next chapter?
I mean, I take life week by week.
Typical bloke, Oli. I think it's typical bloke. I think I'm.
I'll see what happens this afternoon, I think. But I mean, that's one of the challenges is thinking longer term. But I think we'd love to, me personally, I can't wait to see the energy drink XITE grow in the UK. Obviously, I'm busy racing, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But I think, yeah, I mean, I didn't even know I'd be racing Extreme E, 8 months ago, and now I'm traveling to some of the most remote places in the world, driving an electric truck that looks like it should be on Mars. So life changes fast, I think. So I don't try and plan too far ahead. But
Yeah. What about you, Megan? What would you say is your kind of plan for the future in the next chapter?
Well, I think actually it would be great. I mean, obviously we've got our 2 flavors at the moment, but what I'd love to see within XITE is like more of a range. I'd love for us to be able to get a few more products on board and like own that nootropic space and play around with that. So I'm really excited for what we can do in that space.
Yeah, definitely. So if there's one life lesson each of you could give to your younger self or someone starting out and wanting to benefit from your knowledge and experience, what would it be?
Oh gosh, you go first.
I go first. I would probably say just start. I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed in everything I've done. As soon as I start, things tend to happen. Like Meg said, when I thought I would like to be a rally driver, I'm sure if I just thought it would have never happened. I just sent an email and then sent another and just kept sending them until something happened and it started to move that way. And now I'm here. So yeah, I think for me, and my biggest advice would be, as long as you start something, even if you don't get the outcome you're aiming for, you'll definitely get a benefit from it. So that'd be my biggest thing.
Megan, what would be your life lesson or someone's, a bit of advice you could give someone just starting out?
I'd say, because I was quite young when we started this business together, and I was really unaware of my capabilities. And I think sometimes in life there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and a lot of people telling you that things are too difficult, and that you're like, because if someone said to me, you can make an energy drink or a drink and you can have this brand and do it, I'd be like, no, I can't. I don't know how to do any of that. That's too hard. But I think it's being actually grabbing it and really being confident in yourself that you can do things and not overcomplicating anything, because things are actually way simpler than you think they are.
Yeah,
you just got to do them. I think people can get so caught up sometimes, like, I can't do this because of this, I don't have this qualification, but that's just not true. You can definitely do it. You just got to believe you can and make sure you got the confidence to push forward, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. It's one of those cases. It's all in the mind, I think, if it tries and stops you. But just got to go give it a go, I suppose. But it's been an absolute pleasure to hear how strong you are as a couple and everything you have achieved so far as a partnership and individually within business, and obviously with your driving as well, Oli. So, but unfortunately, we're close to the end now. So perhaps you might like to tell the listeners where they can find XITE online or where they can try your drink flavours.
We're stocked in Holland and Barrett. Lots of independent gyms nationwide. You can find Avocado as well. You can find us WH Smith's too. And you can also find us on www.drinkexcite.com. And Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we're everywhere.
Great, so you're all on social media, you've got a website, so guys, go and check XITE out and try their flavors. But my thanks to Megan and Oli for sharing their life lessons. Join us next time for a brand new episode. You can listen to all our previous episodes wherever you get your podcast from, or follow us on social media for regular updates and new episodes. But for now, it's my absolute pleasure to give you Megan Jones and Oli Bennett of XITE.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So that's it for this episode of People Behind Brands. I'd love to hear from you all, so if you want to get in touch, follow us on our social media platforms. If you like what you heard, please rate and subscribe to our exclusive content now. Join us next time for a brand new guest on the podcast as we explore yet more life lessons from the world of business. We'll see you soon. Ta-da!